Welcome to this second episode of the Poetic miniature. Sometimes a transition doesn't begin with warmth, but with a rustle, a wing beat somewhere between January and spring, as if the air itself paused for a breath. This series invites you to notice such quiet signs. The small ones, the subtle ones, the ones that touch something within us long before we understand why. Today the second poetic miniature opens, a story about the Saurian bird wedding, and about the gentle spark that rises in us when an old tradition reminds us of something we once knew but almost forgot. The Bird Wedding, a winter miniature. It doesn't begin with a song, but with a soft rustling, a barely audible wing beat that interrupts winter for a moment. The Saurian bird wedding is not a grand celebration. It is a small brightness in January, a tender greeting from nature that says, spring is still far away, but it has not forgotten us. As a child, I first met it in the shape of a nest, a few sweets carefully placed, as if the bird themselves had brought them. Back then I didn't know that this tradition is older than many of the houses we live in today. People say the birds are getting married, magpie and raven, according to tradition. But in truth it is something else, a gesture of gratitude to these creatures who survived the winter, and a quiet hope that the cold will soon soften. I imagine them gathering, not in splendor, not in color, but in that simple way only nature understands. A glance, a call, a shared flight over frosted fields. Perhaps that is the magic of this day, that it reminds us how close we are to small things, how a nest of sweets can connect an entire village, how a nearly forgotten custom still lives on in children's hands, in stories, in a smile on the morning of January 25th. And as I think of it, I feel something within me, something that stretches without being certain, a small warm brightness that says, even in the heart of winter, something can begin. A poem for the bird wedding. A winter wing is in quiet gray, a gentle call along the way, a nest of sweetness softly shown, a hint of spring the birds have sown, and two fitting sayings. When birds hold wedding day, winter opens just a seam, and thought it slips a spark of spring. Sometimes hope begins not with warmth, but with a wing beat. Perhaps this miniature leaves a soft echo within you, a vision of wings and winter light, a feeling of quiet connection, a small beginning stirring within. If you wish, carry this moment into your day, just as the birds do not chase winter away, but coax a song from it. Something tender in you may find its own space too, without hurry, without pressure. Thank you for giving yourself this quiet minute. Until the next poetic miniature.